Glory to the Most High God, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh, Shabrak. Come. I want to say shalom to the hopeful elect. Shalom to the brothers and sisters who watch this later. Hopefully they be edified, learn something through the Spirit, and get some scriptures from this to use later. This is going to be a breakdown on drinking liquor, drinking strong drink, wine of that sorts. And where do I want to start? We're going to start because liquor is a controversial topic. Wine is a controversial topic with the nation of Israel and with people, period. Because it can be used for good and it can be used for bad. And where do I want to start at? Because in the Noah situation, even in the Noah circumstances, this is Genesis 9 verse 19. It says, "These are the three sons of Noah, and of them was the whole earth overspread. And Noah began to be husbandman and planted a vineyard." So this is after Noah, got out the ark and everything was chill. He was able to do. He was a husbandry, meaning he was a farmer, and he planted vineyards and provided feed his family through the Spirit. It says, "And he drank of the wine and was drunken." And Noah just got off that ark. He just saw the whole world get destroyed. He just saw everybody he loved die. He was on the ark for 5-6 months, give or take. Hey, that's a long time around all these animals. Saw a heavy miracle just happen. And he was drinking. That's what wine is for. When you watch the video a little bit longer, wine is for sorrow and get you through it. And he drank of the wine and was drunken. And he was uncovered within his tent. So he was uncovered within his tent. He was in his safe haven. He was in his house. And he was naked. But he was drunk. It says, "And Ham, the father of Canaan, saw the nakedness of his father, and told his two brethren without. And Shem and Japheth took a garment and laid it upon both their shoulders, and went backward, and covered their father's nakedness covered the nakedness of their fathers, and their faces were backward, and they saw not their father's nakedness." So my thing is, this man is drunk within his house. Liquor was not the cause of this situation. He's in his house. Even with Lot and his two daughters, they got him drunk, and they used liquor to fulfill what the Most High wanted, things of that sort. But liquor was not the issue. Man was the issue. Let me get it. This is the book of Ecclesiastes 7 and verse 29. "Lo, this only have I found, that God have made man upright." So God made you to be upright. Your purpose, Ecclesiastes 12 and 13, is to keep the commandments, to be good, to the doctrine of the fruit of the tree of life. Right. But they have sought out many inventions, meaning they have created a lot more wicked things to do with what God created them to do good with. So we're going to get deeper into that later. But this is just a controversial topic that people say, well, drinking is a sin. Drinking is off. Drinking is this. Drinking is that. And we would attest as Israelites to say, yes, drinking can be off, but drinking itself is not the sin. It says, "In Ham, the father of Canaan saw the nakedness of his father, and told his two brethren without." So that means Ham went in his father's house, just destroyed and didn't even care about this man's privacy, and just did what he wanted to do. No, say if he went off, or he just did what he wanted to do in general. He just went in there and saw his father's nakedness, and he got cursed for that. You understand? So we're gonna get into it. The only law against drinking is this right here. This is Leviticus 10:9. This is like Leviticus 10 and verse 9, and it reads. I'll start at verse 8. "And the Lord spoke unto Aaron, saying, Do not drink wine, nor strong drink, thou nor thy sons with thee, when ye go unto the tabernacle of the congregation, lest ye die. For it shall be a statute forever throughout your generation. So the only law against drinking strong drink was to not to drink when you dealing with your purpose. So Aaron and them job was to give forth judgments, to do things in the temple, to do all those things that had to be done without spot, without blemish. Liquor can defer your judgment. It can make you make bad decisions. It can make you go off. So that's the only actual law against drinking liquor, which is seasonal. It's a time and a place for everything, pursuant to Ecclesiastes 3 and verse 1. Right. So I'm going to continue. It says, "And that ye may put difference between holy and unholy, and between unclean and clean." So your judgment pursuant to when you're drinking can be easily deferred, especially when you're in a position of power. Let me get it. Get the book of Proverbs. This Proverbs, I'm in Song of Salakia. I want to say this is what I want. Okay, this is what I want. This is what I want. Oh, actually, it's not what I want. Slipping my mind right now. Let me see. It probably come back to me later then. Let me see if this is it. It slipped my mind right now. Lord willing to come back later. It probably will come back later. But as a king, you have rules and regulations. You don't want to pervert judgment when you off influences of liquor, right? Am I in the right chapter? Well, it'll come back to me through the Spirit of the Lord willing. So, what was I at? Ecclesiastes 7, verse 29. No, I wasn't there either. Well, okay, let's go back to Leviticus 10. That's where I was at, Leviticus 10. Salakia. No, this is actually the only law pertaining to the scripture that speaks against drinking in total. Right? In total, meaning this is where it's not permitted for you to do it whatsoever. Right? Leviticus 10 and verse 9. Do not drink wine, nor strong drink, thou nor thy sons with thee, when you go into the tabernacle of the congregation, lest ye die. Right. So this is talking to the sons of Aaron. They are not permitted to drink strong drink when they are amongst the congregation, teaching the children, teaching the people, because they don't want them. God did not want them to pervert the judgments, to say something that's clean and something that's unclean. Because when you're drinking, you're not always in a 100% right state of mind. You make bad decisions when you drink sometimes. And God is not, you're not allowed to do that with the word of God. It got to be damn near perfect, right? Now, let me get some scriptures real quick. So, if you know that is going to cause that issue, so you avoid it. All right, this is 1 Peter chapter 3. Oh, that's not what I want. I want 1 Peter 5. 1 Peter 5 and verse 7, it says, "Cast all your care upon him, for he cared for you." Be sober. Right, because when you're sober, not alone just being uninebriated or unintoxicated, you are also in the right state of mind. Mark the 5th chapter, when Legion was on that man, he was not in the right state of mind. So he was making unimportant and unlogical decisions. And that demon was controlling him, making him cut himself, dwelling among the tombs, among the dead, things of that sort. Those are unreasonable decisions that you should make as a person, period. It says, be sober, be vigilant. When you're not sober, you're intoxicated. You're not fully aware of your surroundings. You're not as circumspect as you should be, pursuing Ephesians 5 and 15, Exodus 23 and 13, which is the law. You're supposed to be circumspect, aware of what's going on. Drinking defers your judgment. It says, be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, walketh about seeking whom he may devour. Your adversary is Satan. He's lurking the earth when you read Job, the first chapter, Job, the second chapter, Salaki, on down. Roman, whom he may see who he can get to go off, who he can get to use as his vessel to fulfill his lust on the earth. Right. So when you're drinking, he's easily able to enter you and use you as an instrument to fulfill his wants on the earth. You understand? So that's the difference. And you're tempting the Lord. So now why is that off? Let me get 1 Corinthians. This is the book of 1 Corinthians 14 and verse 40. It says, let all things be done decently and in order. Right. So if you're drinking in a temple, that's out of order. That's not decent. That's not righteously. So he didn't tell them that they could not drink. He told them you don't drink when you're in this position. No. After this, do what you want. But, not do what you want, but do as you please. But in this, you cannot do that. Why? Because this is why. The book of Proverbs, chapter 20. This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 20 and verse 1. Wine is a mocker. Strong drink is raging. Why? Because strong drink and wine, it makes you mock, meaning you don't take things serious when you off the wine. You're forgetting about your purpose. You're letting things slip. You're moving away. When you strong drink, you get raging. You get liquor courage. You get excitement. You get the hawk mentality, which is not permitted for men of the Lord to drink and to do all these explicit things in your order. No, you're a king. You're a God. Kings cannot do what they want to do in every last circumspect. They have to narrow points down and chill, as I should say. Right? Let me get it. This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 23, and verse 29. It says, who have woe? Who have sorrow? Who have contention? Who have babbling? Who have wounds without cause? Who have redness of the eyes? They that tarry long at the wine, that they may seek mixed wine. So people who have wounds, who have sorrow, who have contention, strife, those people have those things because they drunk too much wine. You drunk too much liquor. You're not supposed to drink that much. Drink to your at a certain limit and then stop. There where you are in control of yourself. You drinking and you are not in control of yourself. You are tempting the Lord. Deuteronomy 6 and 16. You are tempting the Lord and you are allowing Satan to come and get into your body and use you as a vessel fit to your destruction. Right? Let's get it. This is the book of Sirach 31 and verse 25. And it reads, shew not thy valiantness in wine, for wine hath destroyed many. For wine hath destroyed many. Right. So you're not supposed to drink to show that you're a man of war. You're not supposed to drink to show how mighty you are. Don't be Peter Griffin. Don't be the Peter Griffin who find this Irish drunk dad and drink him under a hole because you're trying to show somebody that you're better than somebody else. You're trying to show that you can drink. Now, I can hang. Everybody don't have the same liquor tolerance. So don't be that guy who believes that just because somebody else is drinking and they can drink a lot, let me drink just as much as them. Let me try to match them. No. That's off. Because now that person who can control themselves drinking that much liquor, can you control yourself drinking that much liquor? You have to ask yourself that for real. Let me get this real quick. This Sirach 37 and verse 27, and it reads this. My son, prove thy soul and thy life, and see what is evil for it, and give not unto it. For all things are not profitable for all men, neither have every soul pleasure in everything. Right. So the Lord said, prove yourself and know which is good and know which is evil. So some people can have an alcohol competition, which is not righteous, or it should not be done, because somebody who has a certain limit will destroy themselves. Cirrhosis of the liver, pursuant to Exodus 20 and verse 13, you're not supposed to do that. Drink yourself into alcohol poison, and you destroy your organs by doing that, by being an unjust balance of liquor, water, and bodily fluids in your kidney and your liver, and it overthrow it, because it's supposed to be a just balance. You can't just have all liquor in there. That's why some people, when they drink, they have to get some food, because that balance out your body, your liquids, your solids, and your toxics. Which liquor is not a toxic, but if you drink too much, it will poison your stream, your bloodstream. It'll take over your body. It can be a demon. So I understand why people say you're not supposed to drink, but the Lord wouldn't give us permission, pursuant to Sirach 15 and 20, Galatians 2 and 14, if I'm not mistaken. He's not the minister of sin, meaning he would not minister you, he would not teach you to serve sin. He don't give you permission to commit sin. So drinking in moderation is the law that he gave us. Let me get back to Sirach 20. Let me get back to Sirach 31 and verse 26. It says, the furnace proveth the edge by dipping. Right. So you prove a sword in a furnace of fire by dipping it in. If it's not melting off, breaking at a certain temperature, then you kind of hit it, you kind of sharpen it, and that's how you know that's going to be a good sword. It's going to be a sword that's going to be able to stab through and thrust a man through and defend yourself in the ancient world. It says, so doeth wine the heart of a proud man by drunkenness. So the heart will prove, you can prove a man's heart by his drunkenness, because he's going to start the forgot what we call it, but he's going to start to speak what he actually feel when he's drinking. The alcohol is going to start to make him talk, I should say, and how he actually feels is going to come out from that point on, because liquor is a liquor courage. Now you start talking to somebody crazy that you would never talk to like that if you was not sober. Not say that was the real spirit, but it goes to show your character if you cannot control yourself or control how much you drink. It says the wine is as good as life to a man. So wine is as good as life to a man. Life is beautiful to be here. Wine is supposed to be beautiful to be in your life, right? It says wine is as good as life to a man, if it be drunken moderately. If it be drunken moderately. So he said wine is good to you if you drink it moderately. If you don't drink it moderately, then what? Wine destroys you. You destroy yourself. You drink too much where you can't control yourself, and then you end up got a DUI, public intoxication. You end up in jail, car accident, end up killing somebody or killing somebody else, killing yourself or killing somebody else. You end up overthrowing yourself because you were drinking too much alcohol. It says, what life is then to a man that is without wine? So what is life without wine? You need wine. That's a part of your life. That's a part of the process of life. It says, for it was made to make men glad. So the Most High did not make it to make man evil or wicked. He made it to make men glad. This Sirach 39 and verse 27. And it reads, all things are for God, are for good to the godly. So the godly is going to use wine moderately. They're for good. The Most High created them for good. It says, so To the sinners, they are turned unto evil. So unto sinners, they are turned unto evil. So men who are wicked, they show themselves. That's how you can prove a man's heart with the wine. Because if he's a godly man within his spirit, within at home, within his absence, when he's not around you, when he's not around a whole bunch of people, he's not gonna get totally drunk. But that man who was actually ungodly, he come around you, oh, he gonna be finished. He gonna show himself that he's actually not godly within his spirit, within himself. The God embedded you certain details to your life that you can't control. It is not in you to be over excessive in the wine. You just don't do it. And some men have enough sorrow where they fall sometimes and they learn from it. But that's another aspect of it. It says, oh man. Sirach 39 and verse 27. All things are for good to the godly. So the godly is going to drink. If you claim that drinking is not godly, the Most High, Isaiah 5 and 20, you call him evil good and good evil. The Most High stated that he created things for the good. The Most High created wine for the gladness of men. But you have the wicked people who take wine and they overindulge in it. And now it gave wine a bad name. When wine was not created for that. It was not created for you to get drunk and put your hands on your woman. It was not created for you to get DUIs. It was not created for you to public intoxicate. It was not created for your self-abundance of lust. You could just get drunk and just fall away and do whatever the hell you want to do. It says, but wine measurably drunk and in season. So wine measurably drunk. So measurably drunk meaning your limit that make you feel a certain level. And in season, meaning you're not supposed to be getting measurably drunk every single day. We just, oh, let me get my limit. Well, brother, what responsibilities do you have at that point? You got every single day you can get moderately drunk. You don't have a camp. You don't have an office. You don't have a talent. You don't have a family. You don't have children. You don't have a house. You don't have a job. Hey, brother, you can't go to drunk what I do. You can't go and be drunk what I do. You're going to jail, brother. You're going to lose your ability to provide for your family. Every day, when you get home, what you doing? You can't drink and read. The Most High didn't permit you to deal with the scriptures and read. So, at some point, that's off. It says, but wine drunken with excess maketh bitterness. Salaki, verse 28. Wine measurably drunken in a season bringeth gladness of the heart and cheerfulness of the mind. So if you drink it in season and moderately, it will take away your sorrow. Because Sirach 40 says, we are the sons of man, and we're born into this life, and we're going to leave out this life in sorrow. You're going to have problems 24/7. But godly sorrow, pursuant to, make sure I get this right. 1 Corinthians 9. Might be 2 Corinthians 9. Salakia, 1 second. Bear with me. Yep. 2 Corinthians 9 and... That's not what I want. Is that what I want? Well, I can get 2 Corinthians 9 and verse 6. It says... Hold on, let me jump past this real quick to see if it's going to sorrow. Is it 7? Hold on. Oh, yep. Salakia, 2 Corinthians 7 and 10. For godly sorrow worketh repentance to salvation, not to be repented of, but the sorrow of the world worketh death. For this is the self-same thing, that ye sorrow after godly sort, with cheerfulness. It wrath on you, yeah. What clearing of yourselves, ye? What indignation, yeah. What fear, yeah. What vehement desire ye? What zeal, yeah. with revenge, in all things ye have approved yourselves to be clear in manner. So it's a godly sorrow and it's a wicked sorrow. A godly sorrow is for you to drink you a little bit of wine, repent, feel bad. If you're going through it, get through it. But the ungodly sorrow is to get drunk, commit suicide, and do all different types of things to actually just destroy your family and destroy yourself, right? Let me go back to Sirach 33. I was just flip right past it. 2 Corinthians 7 and 26. Sirach 31 and verse 29. But wine drunketh with excess maketh bitterness of the mind, and brawling, quarreling. You ever seen somebody drunk? They kind of want to fight. They kind of want to rage. Proverbs 20. Strong drink make you rage. You kind of get the spirit of Hulk. I could fight a bullet. That's how they start to feel when they get off the liquor. That mean they drunk too much. That mean they didn't be modest, or they didn't do it in season. They let wine overtake them and turn to their God. It says, drinking increase the rage of a fool till he offend. So you're gonna offend. You're gonna keep drinking until you offend somebody. It says, it diminishes strength and maketh it wounds. Rebuke not thy neighbor at the wine. So you can't rebuke a person when they drunk already. You gotta wait, because they are in their mind. Their mind ain't right now. They're gonna make it worse with somebody who they didn't even have a problem with because their mind ain't right. And don't enable that person to ruin your relationship because they're not right in the mind, and that will make you not want to deal with them no more. But if you rebuke them, they're gonna try to probably attack you, feel some type of way, rebel, all different type of things. And we know wine is wisdom, and it could be wisdom of the world. When we deal with our people, we rebuke them with the wine of the Lord, the true wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. They rebel against us. They rage and yell and scream and holler and say no, because they have drunken too much of the wisdom of this world, the wisdom of Christianity, the wisdom of Islam, the wisdom of Jehovah's Witness. They have drunken too much wine of those things. And now they stagger and they rage when you bring out the truth, the wisdom of the Lord, the wine of the Lord. Right. This is Sirach 31 and verse 29. Salakia, Sirach 31 and verse 20. Drunkenness increaseth the rage of a fool till he offend. It diminishes the strength and maketh it wounds. Rebuke not thy neighbor at the wine. Despise him not in his mirth. And when a person is drunk or drinking to a certain extent, don't despise them in their mirth. Let them be mirthful. Let them feel good. You got a little bit too drunk, let them feel good. Talk to them after. It says, give him no despiteful words, and press not upon him with urging him to drink. So you can't give them a spiteful words, or you can't urge a person to drink. Meaning they drinking and they have reached their limit, they feel good. Kind of say, brother, drink some more. Drink some more, brother. Come on, let's get a little bit more drunk. Hey, that's off. They have reached their limit. That's as far as they go. Leave them alone. They're in the right state of mind and they inebriated a little bit. They cool. Right. Let me get this. This is 1 Esdras 3 and verse 17. And it reads, and he said unto them, declare unto us your mind concerning the writing. Then he began the first, who spoke of the strength of wine. It says, and behold, he said, thus, O ye men, how excellent strong is wine, how exceedingly strong is wine, Salakia. It causeth all men to err that drink it. And if you drink too much wine, you're going to err. It don't cause all men that drink it to err, but we know what he mean by that. This is a non-Israelite. This is a heathen who's speaking in this time. A Persian protector of the king when he sleep. A Persian guard, I should say. It says, it maketh the mind of the king and of the fatherless children to be one, and of the bondman, and of the freeman, and of the poor man, and of the rich. So you drink wine and get everybody drunk. Everybody is equal at that point. Everybody is unstable. Everybody is inebriated. Everybody is either mirthful, joy. Everybody can do the same thing when they drinking. When you're drunk, you go back. When you're sober, you go back to who you actually are. Either you're a king, you're a governor, you're a ruler, or you're a person of society. You drink, amen. A poor man can feel like a king. Drinking can make you get to that level. It says, it maketh the mind of the king and of the fatherless children to be at one, and of the bondman, and of the freeman, and of the poor, man of the rich. It turneth also every thought into agility and mirth, so that a man remember not sorrow nor debt. Because even though you're rich, you still have a little bit of sorrow going on. You still have responsibilities, rules, and regulations. As a rich man, you have a lot on your plate. You have to make sure everybody is dependent on you. So you're still going to have sorrow. If you're poor, you're going to have sorrow. Why? Because you ain't got enough. You don't got enough. How you gonna feed everybody who depending on you? You're going to have sorrow then. It says, but it make everybody heart merry. It's supposed to be, it was there to make men glad. It says, it maketh every heart rich, so that a man remember neither king nor governor. It maketh it to speak all things by talents. It says, and when they are in their cups, they forget their love to their brethren, to their friends and their brethren, and a little after draw out swords. I mean, their mind got indulged in that liquor. That liquor took over them, and they turn around and say, you know what? I'll kill you. You know what? You got what I actually want. I want to take what you got, because they started to drink, and that drinking makes them covet, lust, idolatry, sorcery, witchcraft, madness. They forget, hey, we supposed to love our brother, pursuing 1 John 3 and 16. 1 John 4 and 20. Liquor should not be the reason that you feel, oh, this time for me to confront my brethren. You shouldn't be drunk. It says, and when they are from the wine, they remember not what they have done. Hey, indicator that you went too far. You got drunk and now you don't even remember what you did. Wake up in prison. Wake up in jail. You wake up and the Avenger of Blood is hunting after you. And they saying, you killed this man and you killed this man and you did this and you did that. And now you got to flee to a city of refuge. Because you didn't kill him presumptuously. You kind of killed him on mistake. And now you got to spend the rest of your life, or the time till the high priest die, in the city of refuge, away from everything that you built for yourself because you got too drunk. Because you drunk too much. Responsibility. Pursuant to Deuteronomy 17 and 15, kings have responsibility. They can't pervert judgment. And that scripture is slipping my mind right now. So crazy. As kings pervert judgment. Hopefully it come. All right, let me get this. My phone is going low. That's Satan. But hey. I flip too fast. Yeah, I definitely flip too fast. This is the book of Tobit, chapter 4, and verse 15. It says this. Do that no man which thou hatest. So don't do no man that you hate. If you don't like it, pursuant to Matthew 7 and 12, if I'm not mistaken. I want to say it's Luke 5 and 32. Don't do to no man that you won't do to yourself. It says, or that you hate. Drink not wine to make thee drunken. So don't drink wine to get drunk. You drink wine to feel good. It says, neither let drunkenness go with thee in thy journey. So if you do happen to go past a certain limit, you got a little bit too much sorrow, or you are losing yourself a little bit, don't leave. Stay exactly where you at. And I said we had a few nights where brothers kind of fall asleep at their residence that we at. And we got brothers who, you know what I'm saying, who understand that. And go fall asleep in the basement. I was at my cousin's house and it was raining and drunk a little bit all the way out of Oakland County. They're real white folks. And I said, you know what? I was fishtailing on my way there. I said, yeah, cuz I'm going to spend the night. He said, all right, cuz. Sleep on the couch. I got an air bed. I got this. I got that. I said, okay, cool. That's the responsibilities of a man who have responsibilities. That's a response that you're supposed to have if you have responsibilities. The man don't have responsibilities, hey, he destroy himself. It's a man's responsibility. It's your job to have responsibilities. I think that's what I want. That is what I want. Proverbs 31. And I don't know how that slipped my mind. This Proverbs 31 in verse 3. It says, give not strength. So like I'm gonna start at verse 4. It is not for kings, O Lemuel. It is not for kings to drink wine, nor for princes strong drink. I mean, it's not for a king to be drunk or for a prince to be drunk. Why? It says, lest they drink and forget the law and pervert the judgment of any of the afflicted. So if a man has responsibility as a king, as a hierarchy, as a governor, as a father, as a husband, as a mighty brethren, as a leader, period, in general, it's a time and place for you to be sipping. It's a time and a place. You can't just be drunk 24/7. A matter come to you and you're drunk. 75% you might be there. 30% you might be off. And that's a high percentage of chance that you're going to make the Lord angry within your judgment. That you're going to do something off. It says, give strong drink unto him that is ready to perish, and wine unto those that be of a heavy heart. So give strong drink to a king who's having a messed up day, who's having a hard time, who's going through it. Kings have a lot of responsibility. Everybody depends on him. The whole nation depended on him. You seen what David got judged for. And the Lord said, he said, what you want to happen? He said, do you want to flee from your enemies? Do you want pestilence over the land? Or do you want, I forgot what was the last one that he said. But his nation had to deal with that. The king being gone. The king, everybody dying. Or people dying from sickness. And I forgot the last one. That's the responsibilities of a king. You don't want to have to deal with those things. You understand? Right. And I'm not sure if I finished reading Ecclesiastes 7. I mean Ecclesiastes 3. But it's okay if I didn't. Time will fail me trying to get every single thing. It says, give strong drink unto him that is ready to perish, and wine unto those that be of a heavy heart. Let him drink and forget his poverty and remember his misery no more. So the Lord said, drink. Drink till you forget your poverty. Drink till you forget. Hey, I'm not the one who tells you your measurements, but don't drink until you lose yourself and you start doing things in craziness. Depend on the Lord. Pursuant to Psalms 55:22, 1 Peter 5:7, the Lord care for you. He gave you the wine for the flesh. The Lord care for you in the spirit. He can take them problems away from your mind mentally. He can take the issue away from you. And he give you a little bit of wine for the time being, just to gather, for you to gather yourself together. Right. But if you drink it unaccessibly, and then you have a different issue. Let me get a few more closing precepts real quick. Hold on, 5. This is 1 Timothy 5 and verse 23. Drink no longer wine, but drink no longer water, but a little wine for thy stomach's sake, and thy often infirmities. So drink a little wine. Don't just drink water no more. Drink you a little wine. That's what he said. Get you a little wine. Let it settle in. Go kick your feet up in your little shack, whatever the hell the Most High gave you, and look around and say, I'm alive. I'm not dead. I got both my feet, both my hands. I got a good brain, a good heart. Lord willing, through the Spirit. I'm not shot. I'm not dead. I'm not in the hospital. I'm not injured, Lord willing, through the Spirit. And I have something to be happy for. Everything might not be going right for me. Let me get a little bit of liquor. Because I drink when I'm in sorrow. I do. And I drink when I celebrate too. Because if it's been a long time and I achieved something that I was trying to get done, I might go give me a little Hennessy, Patron, Nahor, some 19 I don't even know liquor like that. Some 1942, I'm not mistaken. Some Don Julio, something to make me feel a little bit like, you know, this was a hard run. And I finally got what I needed to get done. Drink a little bit. Enjoy yourself. Let me get some more. I'm gonna get a few more. Let me get Proverbs. Psalms 104 verse 15. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 104 and verse 15. It says, and wine that maketh glad the heart of man, and oil to make his face to shine, and bread which strengthen man's heart. So wine which maketh man what? Man heart of gladness, because your mind be heavy, be going through a lot in the mind. The mind is the place that all things happen. That's why he said in Proverbs 4 and 23. Let me get it. This is the book of Proverbs 4 and 23. It says, keep thy heart with all diligence, for out of it are the issues of life. So keep your mind with all diligence. Try to control what you're thinking. Try to cast off thoughts. Pray upon having a clean heart, like David did in Psalms 51. And I want to say that's like Psalms 130 or 140 or something too, if I'm not mistaken. Keep the doors of his heart. Keep the doors of his mind. Salakia. Just a quick toss up. So thoughts of that was not meant to be bad. Wine was meant to be good. It was meant for man to lose the sorrow and get through their day, their hardest day, with the liquor. Sirach 40 and verse 20. It says, wine and music rejoiceth the heart, but love of wisdom is above them both. So, of course, the wisdom of the Most High, pursuant to Deuteronomy 4 and 15 on down, that's the wisdom of the Lord, right? That you're supposed to love. But wine and music, you can love those things too. Temporary fix, but the Lord gave them to you for you to use them. And you'll be a fool if you did not use them in time of need. Right. So, let me get one or two more, and I'm gonna wind down. Sirach 32 and verse 5. It says, a concert of music and a banquet of wine is a signet of carbuncle set in gold. It says, as a signet of an emerald set in a work of gold, so is the melody of music with pleasant wine. So it's beautiful to see. It's like a precious it's likened to a precious how do I want to put it, stone or a rock, for you to have music and wine, for you to look at it and shine upon. It's supposed to make you happy. It's supposed to make you forget about your problems, your issues. So I encourage every brother who can control themselves through the spirit to get them some wine, some liquor, especially around the Passover time. Go hard, have your sorrowful days, drink and endure to the end. Because that's the goal, is to endure to the end. And allow the Lord to be the author and finisher of you, pursuant to Hebrews 12 and 2. And with that, I want to give all honor and glory to the Most High God, Yahweh, Bahashem Mashiach, Malak Yahweh Shah, Kwam Yashala, Shalom.